Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends Series Void Build-A-Figure Waves Crystar, the Crystal Warrior. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have on the top, Build-A-Figure Marvel's The Void Hook, assortment number 4 and up. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. Marvel Legends Series, nice big window showcasing the figure and Build-A-Figure pieces and accessories. Marvel's Crystar, the Crystal Warrior. Hasbro print. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, some nice artwork of the Crystal Warrior himself. And on this side, nice artwork of the Crystal Warrior himself. And on the back, that same nice artwork, only more of it. Of Crystar. Marvel's Crystar. Marvel Legends Series Crystar. Prince of Crystallium. I think I said that right. Leads an elite team of Crystal Warriors against the threat of chaos. There it is again in some other languages. Build-A-Figure, the Void. There's the completed Build-A-Figure with numbers corresponding to which figure comes with which part. And here's your cross sale. We have Squadron Supreme, Power Princess, Crystar, New Warriors, Justice, The Vision, Nemorita, Namor, and Black Panther. Each sold separately, subject to availability. Attention, don't stick things in your French pie hole that don't belong there. Warning, attention, Octoon, don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Marvel print, small fine, legalese print, made in China print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers to take a look at the accessories. And so let's start off with his alternate set of hands, which are C-grips molded in this red plastic. Nice molded details on up and down hinges. So that's really good for weapons hands. And then here's the other one. Pretty much the same, just the opposite side. And again, nice molded details. Up and down hinge, all molded in red plastic. Now here are the Build-A-Figure pieces for the Void. Looks like they're molded in some translucent plastic with maybe some color injected into it. And it kind of gives it that smoky look to it. Looks like crab legs. Crab legs. Yum. But I don't think these look very good to eat. So, and then there's the plugs for where it plugs into the Build-A-Figure. I think that's one of those that's not important enough to me to complete the Build-A-Figure. So here we have Crystar's sword, made of a translucent plastic with a slight blue tinge to it. So very nice looking, nice molded details in it as well. And it really does remind me of that classic piece. And speaking of reminding of the classic piece, this shield, again, molded in clear plastic. It doesn't seem to have quite as much of a blue tint to it as the sword does, but I think it's just because it's more spread out, because around the edges of it it's a little more blue than in the center, and these raised up edges, and they are all raised up, all those spines. And then of course the handle, which again, it does have a little bit more of that blue in it. Well, I'll say it does, maybe it doesn't. It's just thicker, maybe. Well, let's take a look at the figure himself. Beep. And here we have the whole thing. Looks like it's pretty much molded in this translucent with the blue tinge to it. And then we've got a few paint apps here, like the wings on the helmet, the spike on the helmet, and then these pieces and the hands seem to be molded in red plastic, along with the feet and the boots and the crotch piece and this overlay right here, except for the crystal belt buckle. And of course he does have a little bit of white, yes, white for the eyes. So it really is, you know, reminiscent of that original figure. And another thing that's takes you back to that original figure is like this emblem here on its chest. You turn him around to the back and you see it's kind of clear all the way through that, because if I remember correctly, the original figure had a thing where you could like look through there. And one thing that seems to be missing, they all used to come with this like staff type thing with a crystal in the middle of it that you could look through as well. But lots of nice molded detail in it, and you can see how the edges catch the light, and it really works much better on the legs and the arms than it does the chest. And I think that's due to the different types of plastic. This is a much harder plastic, and this is a little bit softer. I won't say it's a lot softer, but it's a little bit softer. And then of course, you know, you can see hinges and, you know, stuff in there. But what clear figure has ever been made that you couldn't see that? None that I know of, at least, anyway. Well, let's take a look at his articulation. Oh, one other thing about this one that the original had that this one misses, the helmet does not pull off. You can see right there, there's a post and a port, and the helmet ports into the head, and you can see around one here looks like some glue. But anyway, back to articulation. He can look up that high, and he's on the classic ball and hinge. He can look down that low, maybe even a little lower. There we go. And let's see, he's got some chicken neck going on. He's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, he does have a 360 degree rotation, no butterfly, but he can raise his arm up approximately 90 degrees. We'll call that 90 degrees. Cut here at the upper bicep for a full 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow, and you can see right here at the elbow, it's made out of a slightly different plastic than the rest of the arm. But anyway, he gives you that much bend. The glove cuff does kind of get in the way a bit, and the slap hands here are on in and out hinges, 360 degree rotation, and he's got a fist on this side, 360 degree rotation, and in and out hinge here as well. He does have the classic ab hinge, and it allows him to bend back that far and forward that far. This belt buckle piece does kind of get in the way. And then he does have a straight cut at the waist, so just a rotation, no hula. And you can see this is going to bend doing it, but he will give you a full 360 degree rotation. But the type of plastic this is, it kind of, you know, it just kind of goes right back into position. At the hips, he can give you the full splits. He kicks forward, not quite 90 degrees, and backwards, about 2 steps maybe. Cut here at the upper thigh for a full 360 degree rotation. Double hinged pinless knee And again, the knee and the elbows look like they're made out of the same type of plastic, and they are off just a little bit from the rest of the figure, but that's okay if it holds up. But he gets that much bend at the knee, and at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. I forgot to check to see if he has a boot cut, and he does not. So, and as far as weapon storage, he just holds it in his hand. No ports in the back or anything like that. And there you have it, my friends. A look at Falling Down Crystar. Let's see if I can get him to stand up. There we go. A look at Crystar and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends Series Void Build-A-Figure Waves Crystar, the Crystal Warrior, with the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends Series Classic Doctor Strange, and the Marvel Legends Series Mindless One Build-A-Figure Waves Clea. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends Series Void Build-A-Figure Waves Crystar, with our final Marvel Legends Series comparison making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander, from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Series Void Build-A-Figure Waves Crystar, the Crystal Warrior, I will have to tell you, I never thought in a million cajillion bazillion years I would ever see a Crystar Marvel Legends figure that wasn't, you know, some custom that somebody did. And I think it's cool that they did that. And I don't know how, you know, the rights for that works. I don't know if maybe Hasbro absorbed Remco. Well, I think Remco was the original producers of the Crystar figures, and you know, it's just, I never thought I would see it, let alone own one. And a lot of you may be asking, how come, you know, why are they making a Marvel Legends of Crystar? And the answer is, well, for one, Hasbro must have the rights for it, or maybe Marvel has the rights for it now. I don't know what the rights issues are. But in the late 70s and early to mid 80s, it was not uncommon for Marvel to take their properties that were licensed, you know, from outside Marvel, like Transformers and Rom the Space Knight, Micronauts, so on and so forth. It was not unusual for them at the time to have them interact with the greater Marvel universe. And Crystar is no exception to that. At least one time I remember that he appeared in Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum in one of the issues of the Saga of Crystar. And so that's why he's in the Marvel Legends line. He made one little appearance. And I think maybe in the newer Secret Wars comic, he may have been a background character that they really didn't name, and you know, he was basically just there in the background. But I haven't read that book, so I don't know for sure that that's the case, but that's just something that I heard. But I am glad that they put this guy in the Marvel Legends line, and you know, he's kind of getting a, maybe not a revival, but at least those of us who remember that original line, you know, it's there. And one of the things that I like about this figure is it's kind of a throwback to the original. If you notice here, as he spins around to the back, you know, most of the figure has that kind of a blue tint to it, but right there in the middle of his back, it's clear. And the symbol on his chest is clear. And you can look through it, although it's not the same as the original figure. It's just kind of a nod to a feature that that original figure had, that you could look from his back through his front. And I don't remember it being like, you know, kaleidoscope looking or whatever through that, but it was just something that you could do with the figure. And of course, the original figures came with that large crystal staff type doohickey thing that, you know, it did have that plastic piece that looked like a crystal in the middle of it, and it did kind of kaleidoscope things that you looked at through it, and that's what it was for. But that, you know, that's okay. That was just something to kind of sell that original line, and this figure doesn't really need that. Now, if they get to the point where they make the two wizards, yeah, I would really like to see that happen, but I don't think it's going to get that far. If they don't do any more figures from that comic, I would like to at least see them do Crystar's brother, who was one of the lava dudes. I want to say his name was Moltar. And that would be, you know, a really cool thing. And I'm sure somebody out there is already printing up the crystal dragon that Crystar could ride. So, you know, those are just cool things. And then there, of course, there were two dragons. There was the crystal dragon, and then there was the lava dragon. And the lava dragon, of course, didn't have wings, but the crystal dragon did, and he could fly. But, you know, Crystar was a really neat line. It was short-lived. I think too short-lived, because it had very interesting concepts in it. And as a child, I did enjoy Crystar. You know, he had a lot of interactions with not just the Marvel Secret Wars figures, the 3 3/4 ones, but Star Wars as well. At least for me. And, you know, it's a nice fantasy figure. And I'm really glad that they worked that in there. And it was, to me, when they revealed this, it was a super big surprise. I was very, very surprised. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much for supporting this content. If you would like to support my content further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button and see if any membership offerings are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel out, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.